What's the biggest lie you believed about yourself? I thought I couldn't speak in public because of my stutter. It started in second grade during show and tell. I got stuck on the word butterfly for what felt like forever. Kids laughed. My teacher looked uncomfortable. After that, I volunteered for every behind-the-scenes job. Stage crew, yearbook photo editor, anything where I didn't have to talk. But here's what I didn't tell anyone. Every night before bed, I'd practice conversations in the mirror. Full speeches, actually. I'd imagine accepting awards, giving toasts at weddings, telling stories that made people laugh. And in my head, in that mirror, I was perfect. No stuttering, smooth, confident, charismatic even. Then I'd try to order pizza over the phone and get stuck on pepperoni for 30 seconds while the guy on the other end waited in silence. The disconnect was crushing. I started believing that the real me, the one who could actually speak, was trapped inside this broken version that the world got to see. High school was worse. I had ideas, good ones, but in group projects I'd just write them down and slide the paper across the table. My friends would read them out loud and everyone would say, "That's brilliant," but it was never my voice saying it. I became a ghost in my own life. I was there, contributing, but invisible. My parents tried to help, paid for speech therapy. I went for 2 years, learned breathing techniques, practiced word associations, did tongue exercises that felt ridiculous. It helped, a little, but the fear never left. Because it wasn't really about the stutter anymore. It was about the shame that came with it. The way people's faces changed when I got stuck on a word. That mix of pity and impatience. I started finishing other people's sentences in my head, just so they wouldn't have to finish mine out loud. College hit, and I had to take public speaking 101. No way around it. I picked the earliest slot possible, 8 a.m. on a Monday, hoping fewer people would show up. My topic was about my uncle's record store that closed down after streaming killed physical music sales. I practiced for weeks, but my stutter always won. Every single run-through ended with me wanting to throw my note cards across the room. The night before my speech, I almost dropped the class. Sat in my car outside the registrar's office for an hour, engine running, heat blasting even though it was September. Called my mom, told her I couldn't do it. She was quiet for a long time. Then she said something that changed everything. "You know what your uncle told me once?" He said the records with scratches were his favorites. They had character. They'd been lived with. She wasn't even trying to be profound, just making conversation. But it hit me hard. I cried in that parking lot. Ugly cried. The kind where you're gasping for air and your chest hurts. The day came. I got up there, hands shaking so bad my note cards were rattling, and immediately stuttered on, music. Thought about running. The exit was right there. But then something weird happened. I stopped trying to hide it. Just let it happen. Didn't apologize. Didn't make a joke to deflect. And I kept going. Talked about dusty vinyl covers, my uncle's laugh, how he'd play the same Fleetwood Mac album every Sunday morning while making pancakes. I stuttered through half of it, but I also smiled, because I was actually saying the words I wanted to say, the way they came out of me. Not the polished version, just me. When I finished, the room was quiet. My professor had this look on her face I couldn't read. Then this guy in the back row, someone I'd never even talked to, stood up and clapped. Said it was the most honest speech he'd ever heard. That my stutter made it feel real, not rehearsed. My professor nodded. Authenticity beats perfection every time. Someone recorded it and posted it online. Within a week, it had 200,000 views. Comments saying things like, "This made me cry," and "Finally, someone who sounds like a real person. Now I do motivational speaking. Still stutter. Don't care anymore." Turns out the thing I thought made me broken was actually what made people listen. The biggest lie was thinking I needed to be perfect to be heard.